Everybody's doing a really great job. Everybody. Except for the cops. That's good.
So we started at downtown Los Angeles City Hall, and we walked to the Twin Towers.
I have lots and lots of earplugs. You need some earplugs?
Thank you.
Hey, feel free to start your own chants, guys. We're going to be here for a while.
FTP!
So this is where we're, I guess, hanging out for a while. Well, fuck the sheriffs.
Hey, I want y'all to know why we're here. These victims are having an easy fucking time. All they have to do is follow us around downtown. But now we're bringing the fight to them. Fuck them! Fuck you! There are no good cops in a racist system! 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 No good cops in a racist system!
No good cops in a racist system!
All cops are bastards! 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 Fuck our city!
Really big hose.
Fuck our city! Fuck our city! Fuck our city! Fuck our city!
So you don't need to be like an individual that is completely geared up and being on the front lines, but being here physically and creating a scene where there's hundreds and thousands of people, it actually allows more people to maneuver on those front lines because they have support and backup and numbers. It's really important. Oh, so that wasn't I thought it was a hose or something, but it's like some sort of barricade to protect their correctional facility. They ain't correcting shit. Brutalizing torture facility. Is it sharp?
It's
it's kind of been dulled a little bit, but it's still fine metal. It's not like razor sharp. You know what they call it?
Oh,
The slinky.
the slinky?
Because like.
Yeah.
But it shows how like to them it's all just it's almost like a joke.
Well, they are preparing for a barrier.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like they don't call it the sharp metal wire.
Yeah.
They call it the slinky. And obviously they probably paint it yellow to claim it's
It's
safe.
safety.
Yeah.
Right now. Justice. Jacob Blake.
We're in downtown Los Angeles at the Twin Towers Sheriff's torture facility. And the sheriffs have put up a yellow metal barricade. Looks like they have their bus too to like. I don't know what the fuck that is. If anybody knows. It's correct to be out in the streets every day, refusing to accept the unacceptable, the conditions of society that can't stop murdering Black, brown, and indigenous people. And I know it's a pandemic, but what kind of society are you okay living with in the name of self-preservation? I was thinking a lot about the people in Poland, how they became to accept the conditions of human ash, literally landing on them because of all the concentration camps and all the human bodies being burned. You know?
He's got one too.
Yeah, I don't know what that thing is. You know, but the people of Poland didn't just, they accepted what was, and that could be us, if people don't actually, do shit. Like, if you're not out now, you're not going to be out when human ash is landing on you. Not that fascism will unfold the exact same way, but just, right now they're spraying shit on the people in the concentration camps. Several times a day, this chemical because of the coronavirus. And most people are living their lives and hoping and praying on an election instead of acting commensurate and taking responsibility and acting. I encourage everybody to follow the RevComs and go to revcom.us and read the statement by Bob Avakian that he published on August 1st. Like, he really gets into laying not only the argument, but with substantial evidence why this is fascism. And if we don't act, what is at stake? You know, the right to protest and criminalize is right now under the bourgeois dictatorship a release valve that they allow to a certain extent. But even the bourgeois dictatorship can't let you run too much. They gotta smash you down. The sheriff, they love their sheriff's department, correctional facility.
Keep the train tight. There's fluid like water, so we move, but we don't run. We walk together and we stay tight. There should be no loose ends, and you guys are not leaking arms. I don't know what the fuck you're doing in the front. If you're not locking arms, I don't know what you're doing as a shoe. There should be no reason why you're not locking arms for the first time. We keep each other safe. The first day
So their slinky only went so far. The yellow thing, I guess it's called a slinky. And so they filled in the gap with sheriff's department. Like, the system that's based on white supremacy and patriarchy and accumulation of capital, like, can't stop at these atrocities. And the difference between this bourgeois dictatorship and a fascist dictatorship is, again, the bourgeois dictatorship lets you have a little bit of freedom to come out, you know? In a fascist dictatorship, even those simple things like coming out are criminalized. So again, we're in downtown Los Angeles, and we're at the Twin Cities Sheriff's Department, and they have a bus blocking their vehicle so we can't see what's happening behind the bus. This yellow thing is called a slinky. And then, you know, the sheriffs are they're definitely ready. We got a couple legal observers. Thank you to the legal observers for coming out today and yesterday. Again, the numbers are smaller today than they were yesterday, and, you know, we actually have to grow. It's really important to grow and build and, you know, not leave until your demands are met. You know, you can't demand the end to white supremacy without overthrowing the system that it functions under. But it's a righteous demand for those stepping in and have a basic understanding that the police are the violent enforcers of the state. police is not to serve and protect the people. It is to serve and protect the system that rules over the people. This is why they gun down with impunity Black, brown, and indigenous people. They were there to protect people. Like if you read in basics what Bob Avakian puts forward, he actually puts forward after the revolution, there would be no such thing as the LAPD. And those people who would take charge of responsibility for the people's welfare would first take a bullet, then shoot one of the masses. That is completely different than what we have right now. And that's the future we should be fighting for. You know, imagine a world where the violent functionaries that enforce capitalists and the relations of capitalism no longer exist. No more FBI, no more CIA, no more military bases all over the world. What would that mean for the people of the world to have the boot of imperialism off their neck? Right now, the most powerful military on the planet has a demented fascist bully that's in charge. And if fascism is allowed to stay in power and not be driven out, what does that look like for the people of the world? We have to walk that through and be serious.
No peace.
No justice! No peace! Take it to the street! No justice! No peace!
You know, you don't have to be a revolutionary to be anti-fascist
Take it to the street!
and have recognition that Trump and Pence have to go. You know, anybody with a conscience can do that. And if you think Trump and Pence should go, and you understand that waiting for the elections is not something that we should wait for, that we should act now and create a political scene where we actually are we're influencing society when we're in the streets, and that's why we need more people. But if we have millions of people in the streets actually demanding that Trump and Pence be out now, what effect will that have on the ruling class and how they react? What effect will that have on the military? What effect will that have on the police? Like right now, 2 police unions in New York are sponsoring or endorsing Trump. That's really, really not okay. This is amazing.
Slowly, we take our time. We stay together, we stay tight. You're judged.
So if you're interested in coming out with your helmets and your shields and your umbrellas, that's very needed. If you're interested in hanging back, that's needed too.
Let's stick together, guys. Stick together. You guys, we're gonna hold. We're gonna stay together. Let's stick together. Let's stick together.
So they are like creating a division between the sheriff line and the righteous uprising that is not accepting this fucking bullshit anymore. There are several people with medic backpacks out here, but they could always use more. You know, if you want to come out here with materials as be a medic, that would be great. If you want to come out here with water bottles, that would be great. If you want to come out here and be one of the people in the cars that's also creating a safety barrier, that would be great too. There's lots of different ways you can be part of this without being directly up against the police. But however you're participating, you need to participate. Sitting at home at such a critical juncture isn't acceptable. Again, I understand people can't come out every day, but if you're at home more than you're out in the streets, you should reevaluate your life and what you're actually fighting for. I do know that there are people who are physically unable to ever come out for lots of different reasons. And there's a space for you too. Like, what are you doing online? How are you organizing people? How are you struggling with people? Are you using your social media as a platform during this juncture to actually mobilize people to get in the streets? Because you can't. Like, you're still responsible.
Slowly but surely, we're rocking together. Not running, we're running.
Again, there's a space for you to build this, regardless of your physical ability, whether you can come out into the streets or if you can't. But we all have to be pulling together to get people in the streets. We need hundreds and thousands of millions of people across the nation in the streets, refusing to accept the conditions that are.
And we hold our ground. We stay together, but we hold.
So the line has become a oval, sort of. So there's people with shields in the front, there's people with umbrellas behind the people with shields.
Stay tight, we need this song. If there's loose ends, that means someone might get shot. If there's loose ends, that means someone might run. If there's loose ends, that means one of us might get hurt. So stay tight if you want to.
I know with where I'm at, for me to sustain a day after day, night after night type of routine, lingering in the back is where, at least at this point in time, where I'm at. And that's okay if that's where you're at. But again, come out. You know, the more of us that are here, that support system matters. And again, I'm going to challenge people to follow the RevCons. You know, they just posted an analysis about the first day of the RNC. Like, the RNC and the fascist program, they're telling you things, and very openly. And so we should pay attention. We shouldn't be like, oh, fuck it, fuck them, I'm not going to pay attention. And that is, you know,
Don't forget, when we move right now,
in this struggle for society, you have to know what your opponent is doing. And right now, since they have state power, to just try to ignore them is irresponsible. This is going to happen again tomorrow, 9 o'clock, downtown Los Angeles, City Hall. And this is building the ground, right? You're preparing people. You're preparing the people, and you're preparing the ground, and you're getting people used to understanding that this is just a one and done. You go home and, oh, I did my thing. No, you know, at least three people a day are still being murdered by this system and by the police. You can't just go home. If you actually are serious about not accepting what's currently happening in society. Another person got shot in Wisconsin? Is that what you're saying?
You can't divide people with together. Not today. Not today.
So again, if you have 3 people a day that are murdered by police or shot by police, we don't hear even about a fraction of them.
I don't understand why y'all are right here. That's what I don't understand. What is that?
You were beautiful yesterday. Do you want to talk about September 5th again? Okay, I'm going to bring
Yes.
somebody on to talk about September 5th.
September 5th, you guys. That is the first day of 60 days of protest. We are working to get millions out here in the streets, just like you see in other countries, fighting their government. And this shit, we can do it too. We cannot keep being divided. Let's go. September 5th.
I love it! So September 5th, if you go to refusefascism.org, or you can go to Refuse Fascism Los Angeles, at least here in Los Angeles, it will be 2 p.m. at the Trump Star on Hollywood and Highland. But
Whoever threw that, you're a piece of shit. Whoever threw that, you're a piece of shit.
But you can go to refusefascism.org and find out where a protest is near you, and if there isn't one near you, you should feel responsible for starting one. Because again, September 5th to the election is 60 days. That isn't much time. And we actually have to create the environment that we're not going to fucking take it. Because Trump has been very clear that the only way he'll lose if the election is rigged. So are you going to, like he's telling you, so how are you going to react? Some more Slinky.
All cops are bastards. All cops are bastards. All cops are bastards.
Again, you don't have to be a revolutionary. You don't have to be a revolutionary to realize fascism has to be driven from power. You can just be a person that is anti-fascist and realizes that we can't accept allowing a fascist to have a second term. You know, just learn from Modi. Or learn from any fascist regime in history, like when they take that second term. It is delusional to think that fascism in America wouldn't be extremely brutal. The largest military on the planet. You know, how many nuclear weapons does the United States have at its disposal? So here's another way you can participate. People are making food out of the back of their truck. It looks like some sort of grilled sandwiches. They're not on the front line, but they're feeding people, and that's a really important way that you can participate. You could donate food. Yeah, you can come out here and maybe be like, how can I help, and volunteer. Yeah, it looks like grilled cheese sandwiches, like, you know, feeding people, because it's a lot of energy to come out here and go toe to toe, right? And if you're not going toe to toe, you still might, you need that fucking energy. So that's another way you can participate. And they're not, here they are out of the back of their truck, and there's the sheriffs. Oh, I don't want a sandwich. Thank you, though. So yesterday they were doing, whoever had their griddle out here was doing like potato fajitas. Drop your donation, get a sandwich, get a fajita, whatever's being cooked. So, I don't know if you can see them all back there. Maybe the car lights are too bright. Anyways. What do you think about actually what we're seeing in other countries, over the last decade, where people have come out day after day, night after night, and they've actually driven out regimes? It's not just like arbitrary. It's not just like some idea with no actual material reality. It's happening over and over and over again in our lifetime. Are we going to learn from it? Are we going to be, accepting the terms of fascism continuing to stay in power? I don't know. They're doing something back there. There's a lot of them. I don't know. So the yellow thing is called a slinky. We got several rows of sheriffs now. Before it was just one row, but they're lining up their forces. Looks like they have more forces back there. They do have bureaucracy that slows them down, and it is a chain of command, where the people on the street have a little bit more fluidity. Again, I would encourage people to go to revcom.us or on social media, the Revcoms. Read the current article about the RNC, the first day of the RNC and the summation of that. And then read the statement by Bob Avakian that was published August 1st, about the stakes of the next period of time up to the election itself, and after the election, and what it would mean if fascism is allowed to consolidate, and how it's our responsibility to use every non-violent avenue at our disposal to refuse to accept a fascist America. You know, anything less is capitulation. Again, millions of people are needed in the streets, and you're needed to organize that to happen. Even if you physically can't be out in the streets, you're still responsible.
Show them what street this is. Just to be to know. Defund the police! Defund the police! Defund the police! Defund the sheriff! Defund the sheriff! Defund the sheriff! Defund the sheriff! Defund the police! Defund the sheriff! Defund the sheriff!
So like the perimeter wall is getting like an egg.
This is what it looks like when we have each other's backs. This is what it looks like when we stay together.
Again,
And mushrooms on it. So fucking good.
I bet. Again, roles you can play as a medic, right? Do you have skills? Do you have skills? Basic medical skills, those are needed. Do you want to make sandwiches? Do you want to hand out water? Do you want to hand out hand sanitizer? Do you want to come and, you know, even be present? Like, I knew an individual who would always come to protest, but he would never stay very close. He would always be just far enough away, because that's how the level of how he could participate. But he was always there. And those of us that were doing more were always appreciative of that person always showing up in the way they could, because it mattered. Oh, another row of sheriff lining up. So it's like 4 rows that they got going on, maybe more. It's hard to, they're all kind of moving around. You know, I want to go back to what that individual we spoke to earlier said about September 5th. You know, getting ready for 60 days of protest. And right now we're flexing those muscles and learning with each other and preparing for that struggle. Not a one day we're done, but you go until you meet your objective. Again, they're doing it all over the world. No fucking excuse for us not to do it here. So if you're in Los Angeles, you know, let people know. Tomorrow, 9 p.m., downtown City Hall, to show up. That's how you can participate. You can go to Refuse Fascism Los Angeles. Start building for the 5th. It's a way you can participate. And I know clicking invite 500 times to a Facebook event sucks, but fascism sucks way more. And if you're too fucking lazy to mobilize people, or you don't think it's important, or you don't agree, you need to like really readjust your thinking and what's on the line and the cost in human lives. Yeah. I'm gonna agitate and get more people fucking out here.
We will.
So I've been telling I've been sending it out and trying to like get people to come.
Yeah. What's your feed? What is your what's your handle?
I'm just on Facebook.
Okay. But are you, I'm going to be on the call tomorrow.
With Refuse Fascism?
Yeah, someone sent me that invite. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Chantel will be on that.
Okay.
And
okay.
I work with her, but I won't be on the call.
Okay, yeah.
But I definitely, I'm going to be out here every night. And I'm
Okay.
actually struggling with people to fucking either invite people or get out here for tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we need double this tomorrow.
Right, and then every day till there's no room for the cops to be.
Right, that's right.
And we'll get there.
Right.
People are so scared. People are getting. We backtracked a little bit. You know, we had that momentum in the beginning, and then people are like, well, it's summer. I want to go on vacation. Blah blah blah. Great, have your self care, but we're back in it, and this is now the marathon. This is the next 6 months. We got 2 months of protesting. We got the election. You know, it's really not looking good just as a realist, but get out there and vote and know why we're rioting after we vote.
And this time right now is preparing.
Yeah.
He's already said that he's not going to leave, and if he loses, it's rigged.
Right.
But if you have millions of people in the street contesting it before it even happens, that's going to make a difference with the military, with the police, with even people's general thinking. Think about Portland and just think about the uprising of George Floyd.
Yeah.
There's fucking makeups that are no longer using the word whitening anymore.
Right.
Public opinion was fucking shook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all of our responsibility.
Right. Exactly. So, you know, when you guys are ready, we'll be here. But we'll be here every night.
So there is going to be a Zoom conference call, and you can go to Refuse Fascism Los Angeles and get that information so you can be part of that Zoom call, that meeting. It would be really, really important, even if you physically can't come, to be part of that, to give your ideas, to think of things, and to take responsibility maybe to reaching out to orgs. How do we build a unity coalition? How do we struggle with people to confront its fascism and come out around the demand Trump pins out now how they understand it? There was a whole summer of families belong together. They didn't stop needing to belong together, but, families belong together. Trump pins out now. There was a whole summer of climate action and climate strikes. It's not like the climate got any better, Trump pins out now. They're fucking just making leaps on the destruction of the environment, and Trump saying Trump loves cops and cops love Trump, that's an open escalation and a green light to white supremacy. And that's not going to go away if you go home. You have to actually be part of organizing and making it happen to drive this fascist regime out.
Not moving. Hold that line.
Again, this is if you were going to train for a marathon, you wouldn't just fucking do the marathon. You'd start building those muscles and learning how to work work them, and so you could have the longevity to keep going. This is kind of like the same thing. You have to build the muscles. You have to build the organization. You have to build. That's part of preparing the ground. It's part of preparing the people for day after day until you get what you want. Like the people in Portland, there were some things that they had to deal with, and they reacted. In LA, this supposed liberal bastion, people are way more laid back than they should be. So this is, I actually really like this. They're slowly taking the line, and the the shields, you know, never turning their back on the sheriff. Oh,
We're watching you walk around. Where'd you get your sticker?
I actually have them. They're in my pocket. You want some?
Yes, please.
Do you have a business card so we can invite you to stuff? Do you want more than one?
What's that? Nice.
Here's a couple stickers.
Here's my card.
Okay, I'll take that, and here's that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Here. I haven't got glasses on. Damn blind ass.
Do you have social media?
Yeah, it's
If you go to this, you'll
Uh-huh.
see what's happening on September 5th.
Sounds
50
good.
days of protest
Okay,
till the
sounds
election, right? That's nice. So, goodbye, Twin Towers Sheriff Department. You know, someone on the live stream comments is talking about looters, but they're completely ignoring all the black lives that were looted and put to work in the cotton fields, and the land that was looted in the genocide of the indigenous people, and the looting that happens all over the world with the military enforcing, you know, brutal conditions and people working for, you know, $2 a day, and children in cobalt mines, the looting of the environment, the looting of the resources, the looting of the people's lives that this system does every day. Means bring it the fuck in, I guess. Are people watching the RNC? Are they seeing the open fascist tendencies and what they're fighting for? There would be no United States today as we know it without slavery at its foundation and the theft of land. This is how the wealth in America was accumulated. And that wealth accumulation laid the basis for the growth of how America has gone forward since then. It can't just be ignored. And to ignore it and not look at history as a continuing is an incorrect to look at reality. And if you want to come out, if you're in Los Angeles and you want to come out and be my buddy, and that way I have more people to roll with, that would be cool too. in a critical time that we're facing as black men are gunned down with impunity. It is inhumane to do anything less than come out into the streets or fight for others to come out into the streets. If you raise that to a political line where these people are like, oh, basically capitulating and making excuses for the system, or trying to lead you into accepting the terms of the system, you know, what do they represent? You know, they represent the capitalist system and objectively white supremacy. There's some people in the live stream talking shit about rent. You know, why do we live in a system where we pay rent to live on the fucking planet we were born on? Why keep a system that creates homelessness? Cruel, inhumane conditions for millions of people on the planet. Not only here, but around the world. You know, people who are refugees from war, climate change. It's absolutely unacceptable to keep a system that would have homeless people. And if you're fighting for a system of private property and capitalism, and like you see homeless people as the other for whatever reason, you don't understand that the system itself creates this reserve army of labor because it cannot employ everyone. It literally can't. Like, that's part of the functionality of capitalism, because it creates these competition for these shitty ass jobs. Fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans, fuck the Greens. Again, what do they represent? Again, they're trying to be elected and lead in a capitalist imperialist system. I think an actual revolution is needed, an overthrow of the capitalist imperialist system. Oh, the trolls. I've been out in the streets for a decade, street protesting and marches, and the Soros conspiracy is so unreal that people would even believe that shit. Like, how far does your head have to be up your ass to believe some shit like that? People are out here putting their lives on the line because they believe in fighting for a different world. I would actually challenge people to raise their sights, to stop thinking within the framework of a better capitalism, a better capitalism still is intertwined with white supremacy, patriarchy, wars for empire, destruction of the environment, and the demonization of immigrants, including border walls. I challenge people to think of a world without America and everything it stands for, and a world of internationalism where the mode of production and how things are made are actually in the interest of people's needs. Like making sure everybody has clean, drinkable water, making sure everyone has housing, making sure everyone has food. Not a system built on competition and accumulation at the expense of other human beings and the planet. Scientists are saying that there's a finite time before the next mass extinction, and that we're heading towards a trajectory that is very damaging. And the capitalist system literally can't do anything about it because it functions by destroying our environment. So do you think if you're in Los Angeles, or even if you're not in Los Angeles, can you commit to building towards the 5th, September 5th, nationwide? Like, go to refusefascism.org. Anti-fascism is not a spectator sport.
Hold on.
Fuck that guy. He's just the advocate.
Let's keep going.
Stay together!
Stay together. I don't know who that is or what's happening. I don't know who that is. Just keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's go.
So we have a guy out there who is being fucking ridiculous, and the protest as a collective isn't having that shit, which I think is positive. Like,
Stay tight. Let's go.
what's the point of being out here? And to stay on message and to stay tight and to be outraged over police murder, the system's conditions of people. Do you think that the Trump-Pence regime should be removed? If you agree with that, you should become part of the unity force joining with Refuse Fascism around that demand. Like, what's your organization? What particular moves you? And how has the Trump-Pence regime interacted not only with your particular, but every single particular that has been driving people into the streets for almost the past 4 years? How do we unite and drive them from power? Together? Because again, at least under a bourgeois dictatorship, we can protest. Under a fascist dictatorship, the right to protest is criminalized, and those who disagree or resist could historically are rounded up, imprisoned, or executed. That's very different than bourgeois democracy, where we're able to be out here tonight, or bourgeois dictatorship, the dictatorship of the bourgeois section of the capitalist imperialist class. You know, Bob Avakian has done a lot of analysis around this. You know, you can go to Marx, you can go to Lenin, you can go to Mao, and you should investigate Bob Avakian. Ask what he's putting forward true. And if you prefer your information more visual or audio, you can go to the YouTube channel, The Revcoms. Because, you know, people learn in different ways, and sometimes audio or visual is better than reading. So again, you can go to the YouTube, The Revcoms.
Black unity, come together!
Black unity!
Come together! Black unity, stay together!
Black lives, they matter where! I said black lives, they matter where! I said black lives, they matter where! Black lives, they matter where! Tell me what community to say! Tell me what community to say!
It's the witching hour. 11:30.
Okay. Anti-communism is rampant, and it's actually anti-people. Anti-people of the world. So it looks like they're coming from so don't know if you can see, but there's like a, I don't know. The cops are all zippy over on this side. It is really helpful to have people in cars be part of what's going on, because they do create a barrier. You know, people on bikes, people in cars, people on foot, people, you know, with their umbrellas and shields. There's lots of different ways to be part of this. You know, we got people directing traffic. You know, the safety of the protest is important. The safety of other people who are living their lives is important. But there is a need to disrupt society and shake people out of their fucking normal life. You know, you think you're inconvenienced sitting in your car for a little bit when, you know, thousands of people all over the world are convenienced by fucking capitalism and all the lives that are inconvenienced when police murder.
I left my car back there and everything. That's alright.
If you need a ride back that way, I can give you a ride. If we're closer next to my car,
Right.
I'll give you a ride.
That's where we are, yeah. Last night I didn't even have a car, so whatever.
Do you want a ride?
Yeah, if it comes to that, yeah, or I can grab an Uber and it can probably take me back there.
Well, I'm going to be coming every night.
Okay.
I can pick some people up. Obviously not
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
But like,
Yeah, like
to make sure people are here. If that is the barrier.
That's what we need to do, yeah.
When I'm done here, when we get to the end, I'll get your number.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
You could do ride shares. That's another way you could help. You could bring people to and from the protest. That would be helpful. You know.
The cops from creeping up behind us.
That's really, I've actually been telling people it's a way they can participate.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So important. So I don't know if you heard, fellow grounder, the important role that these cars behind us are playing in creating a buffer between us and the police. You know, it's a good way for people who are immunocompromised to participate. It's a way, if you can't walk, you know. And then, you know, sometimes just more cars are needed. And even if you can walk, having a car and driving it and being part of the car brigade is really important.
Black lives that matter here.
So again, a little recap. Go to Refuse Fascism, Los Angeles. Refuse Fascism, Los Angeles. And get the information for the conference call tomorrow. Or the Zoom. Sorry, the Zoom. We gotta We gotta get. Yeah. Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here. That's right.
This is a 24-hour protest!
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 This is a 24-hour protest! Woo!
What do we want?
Justice!
And when do we want it?
Now!
And when do we want it?
Justice!
And when do we want it?
Now!
And we don't get it!
Shut it down!
We don't get it!
Shut it down!
We don't get it!
Shut it down!
And what do we want?
Justice!
And when do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
And when do we want it?
We are in downtown Los Angeles.
We don't get it! And we don't get it!
Somebody smells like cotton candy.
They're already that way. Get together!
There's actually several protests for Vanessa. Again, 3 people are murdered a day by police. 8 women a day are murdered by men in America. About half of those 8 women a day are murdered by a significant other. Femicide is very real here and all over the world, and we haven't really been loud about it. I agree. Oh shit, he's up on the fucking... Snipe us!
Come on, let's go. Get off their legs. Let's go. Let's go.
If I was swayed by what people thought, I wouldn't be who I am today. I don't give 2 fucks what fascist or white supremacists think. White supremacy is wrong and patriarchy is wrong. Oh shit. So either that's flashbangs. We got some flashbangs up at the front. So the police are over here, some of them. You can smell the sulfur from the flashbangs. This is the Hall of Justice. So they seem to be congregating around and have barricades up. So they are ready to fucking shoot.
Are you staying or are you going?
I'm staying, but I'm
Okay,
going
let's
back.
go. Come on.
Okay.
Go, go, go.
Oh shit.
Go, go.
Okay. Maybe that was more than a flashbang. Here's more. Do you need something?
I'm okay for now, thank you.
So the legal observer looks injured.
Stay outside!
Step on the curb.
Stay outside!
Right up here on the curb.
So
Stay outside!
here's the encampment that people are staying at, the 24-hour encampment. Because this, they were saying this is a 24-hour protest. So people are staying outside of City Hall. In the park. If you think civil unrest for justice is funny, there's something not only wrong with your framework, but you're an indecent. If you're fighting for an indecent political line, you're fucking.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Let's go!
You don't see other human beings as human that deserve full
Sticking together!
respect. Because that's why people are out here demanding that people be treated with humanity and dignity.
Let's stick together!
Fuck you, stupid!
Put your fucking. Oh.
Man, they already done hit me. Fuck that dumb shit. Man, I just got the charger for another.
Come on, let's stick together.
There's many places in the world
Stay together, come on!
where regimes have locked down, where people can't be in the streets demanding
Man, fuck you, pussy!
the humanity that's needed.
shooting y'all!
And it's our responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen in America and that fascism doesn't have a second term, where they can consolidate those type of.
Stick together. Let's keep backing
That's
up.
really
Keep
close to
backing
your
up.
last one.
That shit's
Stay
been
tight.
tough for about 3 weeks. If it doesn't do it for 3 weeks, go to the doctor and get some anti-inflammatories.
That's almost exactly the same place.
It's gonna feel like a tour. It's not.
He just got one like at the beginning of this whole uprising too, right there.
Yeah. I don't worry. I got shot fucking twice that first Friday when there was all this shit.
Yeah.
Why are we hanging out in the street? Let's go! Let's go!
Okay.
We'll hang out later.
Man, fuck 12, stupid.
Fuck 12. Fuck 12.
Talking about, bitch, I hate that grenade, bitch. No, dumb ass boy. What you talking about?
Holy snap. Is that what you got hit with?
No, I went to pick it up and they shot me. You may have been.
So what's this? Is that a flash
Inner
grenade?
rubber ball. They just shoot it.
Can I get a picture of it?
It's fucking huge.
Hey, shoot at me. Hey, we gotta get away from the shoot. Get away from the ball.
I got it, guys.
We're not going in the park.
This is kind of why I linger in the back. That comrade got hit twice the first night of the uprising in downtown LA, along with some. Oh shit, they snatched somebody. Again, if you're a medic and want to bring out things that are needed for tear gas and people getting hit with rubber bullets, that's a thing you can do. I'm going to try to get a little higher of a view. So, police murder is rampant in America. 3 people are murdered a day. And the uprising over George Floyd has continued, but then there's more and more outrages that keep igniting this particular and why people are in the streets. Recently, in Kenosha, a man was shot 7 times in the back in front of his kids while he survived. It has sparked another uprising, and here Los Angeles police are the second deadliest police force in the United States per capita. Arizona, and in particular Phoenix, is number 1 for murder.
We need to go back down that hill and then
You can go to killedbypolice.net. It's a website that keeps track of everybody who was killed by police in the United States. It's just, just keeps a record in the articles. You can read the links and review yourself. But it keeps a pretty comprehensive list. Again, that's killedbypolice.net. And then if you take all those people who are killed and basically sort them by where they were murdered, like other websites do, you can see how many people were killed not only in each state but in each city. And then you can verify those results as well if you would like to go and do that work, which is fine. I think people should investigate.
Let's go. We're walking down. Stay together. If you're in the front, walk slow. If you're in the front,
Being a criminal is not a death sentence in America. That's why we have a court system.
you need to watch the people behind you.
Being black is not a crime. Being brown is not a crime. Being indigenous is not a crime. Running from the police technically is protected. There was a Supreme Court ruling that you can legally run from the police. So running from the police is not a crime.